Hey everyone, what's up? Daniel here and you're watching The Nurse Photographer. Haven't taken the NCLEX set or maybe you're still choosing a state for the exam? Don't worry, I gotcha. Here are the most recommended states for Filipinos or other foreign educated nurses. By the way, the requirements for these BONs might change or gets updated from time to time, so please visit their official websites to get their latest requirements. Take note that these states don't require an English exam or the IELTS or SSN prior taking the NCLEX. I also included their links on the description box down below just so you guys can navigate to their websites more easily. Okay, so in no particular order, here are the most recommended states for foreign educated nurses. Let's go. Okay, first on the list is the state of New York, NYSED. Now, before, New York Board of Nursing is one of the most or is the fastest BON to give you an ATT, but because of COVID and because there is an increased number of applicants applying for New York, there is a huge list of backlogs. One of the pros for this BON is that they do not require you to pass your local licensure examination in the country where you're based. So imagine after you graduate nursing, you can immediately start processing your NCLEX. Amazing, right? Another advantage for this BON is that they do not require you doing the fingerprinting, so no criminal background check. For me, one of the disadvantages for this BON is that this requires you to do the child abuse reporting coursework. It's an additional requirement, additional step, but it's relatively easy to acquire. Second on the list is New Mexico Board of Nursing. This is the BON where I'm currently registered. And for me, one of the advantages is that the minimum number of applicants, unlike New York and NMI where a lot of people are already applying for those Board of Nursing. So minimal applicants means it is a faster way to get an ATT. Another advantage is that it is a compact state. So if you pass your NCLEX under New Mexico Board of Nursing, you can work in other compact states without doing the license endorsement as long as you retain your address in your primary state of residence. So I think this is good for travel nurses. For me, one of the disadvantages for this BON is that the fingerprint is only valid for I think 2 months. So if you don't process your application fast enough, you might need to redo the fingerprinting. So there you go. Third on the list is Texas Board of Nursing. There are a lot of Filipinos on this state, parang California. And for me, the advantages is that this is also a compact state. Again, hindi mo na kailangan mag-endorse sa other states if you're going to work there as long as you retain your primary state of residence. Now, for me, the cons is you will need to take the jurisprudence exam. It's an additional requirement, an additional step, but again, it is also easy to acquire, just like in New York's. Fourth on the list is the state of Illinois. Now, the advantages, I think, is the eligibility, which is 3 years. But, you know guys, honestly, I think 1 year is enough to process your NCLEX, to prepare for the NCLEX, and to review for the NCLEX. But it is a good thing that the eligibility is 3 years. The disadvantage for this state is the IDFPR, which means that from what I read, after you pass the NCLEX under Illinois, you will need to apply for licensure in IDFPR to get the license. Honestly, I'm not that familiar with this since I am under New Mexico Board of Nursing. Last but not the least is Northern Mariana Islands. The pros, I can't think of anything right now, but if you have any pros, please let us know on the comment section down below. Now, for the cons is, since there are a lot of nurses, a lot of applicants applying for this BON, and if you look at their office in Google, you will see that the office of this BON is relatively small and there are only a few of staff processing your application. So imagine a lot of nurses around the world are passing their application on this BON and there are only less than 5 processing. So imagine the backlogs. Second is the pricey reinstatement. So imagine if you pass your NCLEX under this BON and if your license expired, it's gonna cost you a lot, and also you will need to accomplish 60 units of continuing education. Third is it is not a mainland. So if you are like me, a Filipino nurse, and you don't plan on going back to bedside nursing and you plan on doing utilization review nurse in a BPO company, here in the Philippines, some of those BPO companies require you to have a license in the mainland. So I think you will have to endorse your NMI license to other states before you can start working in those BPO companies. Okay, let's talk about other BONs and their requirements. Okay, let's start with Philadelphia. PA does not give a RN candidate report. If you're already based in the US, this is not a problem. But if you're like me, an international nurse, you might have a problem later when your staffing agency or your employer asks for this file. The next is Washington, D.C. Now, applications in DC is only valid for 90 days. So if your application remains incomplete for 90 days or more from the date of submission, they will consider it abandoned and will be destroyed by the boards. Next is Minnesota. Minnesota requires IELTS before sitting in for the NCLEX, and if you are graduate more than 4 years, you will need a refresher course. Okay, next is Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin BON requires CGFNS qualifying exam before sitting in for the NCLEX. There you go. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please continue supporting my channel by subscribing. And if you reach this far, please comment down below an icon of a syringe, a hospital, or a cap of a nurse, just so I know how many of you guys are watching till the end. Maraming salamat and see you guys sa States. Adios.